What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today we're looking at a spoiler-free look at The Northman, the newest movie by Robert Eggers that is out in theaters right now. So if you guys enjoy videos like this, please make sure to like it. Please make sure to subscribe if you're new. But let's take a quick look at my spoiler-free thoughts on The Northman. So let me start the review talking about Robert Eggers, the director of this movie who also wrote it. And he's done two previous films that I adore. I mean, his two previous films, The Witch and The Lighthouse, I hold those films in a very high tier. I look very highly upon those films. I think The Witch changed the games in a lot of ways in terms of modern horror. And The Lighthouse is a very artsy, confusing, like mind-bending experience that I really enjoy watching. So for The Northman, I had a lot of high expectations. You know, I was like, can this movie really live up to the hype? And really be looked at in the same tier as The Witch and The Lighthouse. And I have to say, right off the bat, I do think it belongs in that same tier of movies. I do think Eggers has crafted another close to a masterpiece of a film. And I think upon a rewatch, my rating could go even higher for this movie and make it a masterpiece. So this movie is very simple, though. It's not as confusing as his previous films. It's a simple tale about a boy who watched his father die at the hands of his uncle and now is set on a bloodthirsty quest to save his mother and to avenge his father. Pretty much the same story as The Lion King. But even though the story is straightforward, there is still a lot of mysticism and darkness to this film, to where Robert Eggers has gone on to say that he wants to make this film for a broader audience. You know, he even said a quote something along the lines of, not everyone wants to see some art house film with no plot and it kind of like goes nowhere, right? It's sort of like The Lighthouse, even though there is a lot to unpack in The Lighthouse. And I don't really agree with what he says there. I think he is being very humble, and I think, you know, I think he's a genius, and I really do. And he's so young, and I'm so excited to see, you know, where his career goes. But so even though the story is straightforward, there's certain elements of The Lighthouse and The Witch that obviously play into this movie. Like I said, the darkness, the mysteriousness. There's plenty of scenes in here that we could dissect or unpack, or that deserves multiple rewatches to even comprehend what's going on here. And that's what I love about The Lighthouse. There are so many scenes in there to where when you first watch it, you're like, what does this mean? Like, you know, this is dumb. Like, I don't even know what's going on. And The Northman doesn't really have scenes like that. There are a couple to where there's very ritualistic type practices, but it's just that on face value, I think. For right now, in my head, the ritual stuff is like, you know, Vikings, they go through these rituals before they scavenge a land, like they're praying to the gods. So it's pretty straightforward. And but the imagery there in those scenes are really good. And now that leads me to probably the best aspect about this movie is the atmosphere. Everything on a technical level, the acting, the lighting, the cinematography, it all plays into creating this super atmospheric type movie. So when you're sitting in the theater, you sort of forget about the real world. You know, you just get pulled into this new world. You get transported into this Viking's tale. And that's sort of what I look for in a movie. You know, if I can go to a theater experience and sort of forget about the real world for a little bit and get put into like this crazy new world with this awesome story, like, then that's what I want from a movie, you know? And that's what I love about The Northman, is that it's both thought-provoking, to where it has a lot to say. There's a ton of symbolism. There's a ton to unpack there. But it's also just straight up entertaining as well. You know, like this straight up story of seeing a boy wanting to avenge his father's death. I mean, that's just cool on face value. And then you have him, you know, grow up, and he's going on this quest. He finds Anya Taylor-Joy. Like, there's love interest there. There's also a ton of brutality to the film. Not as much. Anyone who's maybe a little bit squirmish, I would say that it's not like in-your-face blood. It's not in-your-face gore. It's just cool action. They know when they're showing blood, when they're showing like maybe something that is a little bit grotesque, it's to make a point, you know, it's to show like the ravagery and the savagery of these characters at times. And then when they don't need to show blood or gore, like they really don't, sometimes they'll kill people off screen. And I think it's really smart, because it makes the other scenes that are with the blood and stuff like a lot more impactful, and that actually means something. And so I mean, like I said, I mean, I'm going to keep this review quick, because I think The Northman you can make a pretty simple review on it, honestly. I think it has a lot of action to keep you entertained. It has it's a crazy story with a lot of twists at the end, so it keeps you, you know, like on your toes. And my only maybe negative is that there was a point in the middle where he does a lot of plotting in the middle of the movie, and just on a first watch, I found that to go on for a little bit too long. But maybe on a rewatch, I could see that it was a lot more important than maybe what I initially thought. But so honestly, my quick rating for this movie for The Northman is a 4.7 out of 5. I look very highly upon this movie. I think it's fantastic, amazing. I had a great time with it. I even brought my mom to go see it, and she's not even into anything Vikings, Norse mythology. She just knows nothing about this, and she still found a way to have a great time with it. And even hours after it was over, we were both talking about it. We both just brought it up randomly, And that's what's also great about this movie, is that it sticks with your head like hours after it's over. Like the imagery, the scenes, the story, like it's just still in your head, and you want to maybe go back and rewatch it like right away. It had that effect on me. So honestly, I gotta give it up to Robert Eggers. He's again crafted another fantastic film. I can't even think about another director who's had the start to his career like Robert Eggers has. And so last things I'll say about this film is that if you've seen The Witch and if you've seen The Lighthouse, I think you will love The Northman. I really do. It's not, I don't think it's, like if I had to rank them, it'd probably go The Lighthouse, The Northman, and The Witch, which is saying a lot because I really do love The Witch. So yeah, if you love those two films, I think you'll love The Northman. If you don't like those two films, I think there is still a chance that you'll like The Northman too, because it is a different crafted sort of film. It has a lot more things for a broader audience like Robert Eggers has. It has like the action. The story is straightforward to where anyone could be entertained. Like I said, a boy going to avenge his father and save his mother, that's like entertaining, for any sort of story. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys have already seen the movie, let me know down below what you guys have thought of it. If you plan on watching it, let me know. But yeah, I mean, Northman was a great time. I can't wait to rewatch it again. So if you guys enjoyed this video, please make sure to like it. Please subscribe if you're new. But I'll see you on the next video. Have a great rest of the day.